I'm Susan Littlefield. It is time to take a look at what's happening within this market world today on a Friday. And joining me is Sue Martin. Sue is with Ag and Investment out of Clarion, Iowa. And no surprise, Sue, I saw a lot of chatter even last night. Folks worried February 1st is tomorrow. And with that brings the 25% starting out tariff with Mexico and China. How are you looking at this from a market perspective at this point?
Well, I think first off, let's look at Canada. 25% tariff there. First, when President Trump talked about these tariffs of 25%, it was tied to illegal immigration and drugs. Then last night or yesterday, he threw in another twist of how the U.S. trade with Mexico leaves a surplus for them and for Canada. And so I think that added a little extra volatility to the market. And when we look at wheat from Canada, mostly that is durum wheat that comes in. And we also get canola oil from them for biofuels. And consequently, if we slow down the Canadian canola oil coming in, that puts more push under soy oil usage, and soy oil is running today, and that's allowing the bean market to come out of its doldrum and lift higher. Now the corn is Mexico, and Mexico is our largest importer of U.S. corn. Used to be Japan, but Mexico has taken that spot, and consequently they like a lot of non-GMO corn, but where are they going to go to get it? And so the U.S. is about the only place for that. But on the same token, some are thinking, okay, he's doing this, so he is probably going to put the 10% tariffs in on China. We'll see. Mexico and Canada are a little different. They didn't have tariffs before. China did. 60%. It's never gone away. And in the meantime, I would have to say the dollar's pretty impressive. It's up 41.9 here as I speak. And so consequently, I think the dollar increase versus the foreign currency of the Mexican peso, the Canadian dollar, and the Chinese yuan, I think that helps kind of mute some of that increase. So we'll see what happens. But China, their Lunar New Year, I believe, ends around February 4th. So interesting, because we do have cycle window timing on the 4th, and we had cycle window timing on the 30th. And here we are. And those are volatility cycles. They're based on volatility. So we'll see what happens. But I think next week's going to be a very interesting week.
All right, we are going to dive more into this coming up later today during the Channel Final Bell. Sue Martin will be joining us. If you happen to miss it live, don't worry. You can catch it as a podcast by heading over to ruralradionetwork.com and our podcast hub. I'm Susan Littlefield for the Rural Radio Network.